This video is brought to you by Just Cause 4. Strap into your wingsuit, equip your fully customizable grappling hook, and get ready to bring the thunder on December 4th. 30 years after the original Superman made audiences believe a man could fly, the Marvel Cinematic Universe made us believe a man can shrink, a god can summon thunder, and a Hulk can smash.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're taking a look at the history of the action-packed films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Marvel's cinematic adaptations got off to a rocky start with Howard the Duck, 1990's Captain America, and Roger Corman's Fantastic Four. Through the first Blade, X-Men, and Spider-Man movies, however, Marvel's vast library of heroes finally started getting the silver screen treatments they deserved. Realizing that most of the key Avengers hadn't been licensed to a major film studio like Fox or Sony, future Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige saw the potential for a shared universe comprised of Marvel characters. In the spirit of the printed pages Marvel Universe, several characters would take center stage in standalone films, culminating in a comic book-like crossover event. 2008's Iron Man was a risky venture, as it not only launched the MCU, but also Marvel took something of a gamble on comedy-centric director Jon Favreau and the controversial Robert Downey Jr. But RDJ quickly proved he was tailor-made for the lead role, and Favreau had us hooked the second Tony Stark broke free from captivity in a suit of armor. The film featured a post-credit scene featuring Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, informing Tony Stark of the Avengers Initiative.
Mr. Stark, you become part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet.
These world-expanding post-credit scenes would become a staple of the MCU. Only 1 month later, The Incredible Hulk came crashing into theaters. While not as commercially or critically well-received as Iron Man, the film's special effects, performances, and pacing were still considered a major step up from the 2003 film. At the end of 2009, the Walt Disney Company bought Marvel Entertainment for a staggering $4 billion. Between 2010 and 2011, Iron Man 2, Thor, and Captain America: The First Avenger marked the beginning of the Disney era, and were all released to widespread success. Demonstrating Marvel's aptitude for world building, audiences were impressed by how each film brought something unique to the table. With Iron Man being tech-based, Thor being grounded in fantasy, and Captain America being a period superhero, the franchise was able to experiment with various different styles and environments, laying the groundwork for the Avengers Initiative.
You here with a mission, sir?
I am.
Trying to get me back in the world?
Trying to save it.
With 5 blockbusters under Marvel's belt, Phase 1 of the MCU reached its climax in 2012.
What have I to fear?
The Avengers. That's what we call ourselves. Sort of like a team. Earth's mightiest heroes type thing.
Written and directed by Joss Whedon, the Avengers commenced with a solid balance of humorous banter and stimulating set pieces, giving our 7 heroes room to breathe. Whedon drastically kicked things up during the rousing New York battle, which packed in so much detail it's easy to overlook the fact that much of the action was filmed against green screens. Becoming the 3rd highest-grossing film at the time, The Avengers was a landmark for the MCU and cinema as a whole. Now that the Avengers had assembled, it was unclear if Marvel would ever be able to top themselves. Iron Man 3 grossed over $1 billion, and director Shane Black dazzled audiences with his inventive visual eye, but people were generally split over a plot twist involving the Mandarin.
Where's the Mandarin? Where is it?
Whoa, he's here. He's here, but he's not here. He's here, but he's not here.
What do you mean?
It's complicated. Hey, it's complicated,
It
right?
is.
It's complicated.
Likewise, Thor: The Dark World was by no means poorly received, but still fell short with the film franchise's lowest critical score on Rotten Tomatoes. Between its dull villain, dingy settings, and fairly routine action sequences, the film left many fans hoping that the MCU's next outing would be a real game changer. Fortunately, that is exactly what audiences got in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Whereas the first Captain America was a throwback to old-school serials, this sequel drew inspiration from 70s conspiracy thrillers.
Bucky? Who the hell is Bucky?
Featuring a more mature tone and action that felt surprisingly grounded, it shook up the MCU in more ways than one. Guardians of the Galaxy was another stunning surprise, being based on one of Marvel's more obscure properties. Yet, director James Gunn turned the titular team of intergalactic misfits into household names, winning the masses over with humor, heart, colorful set pieces, and an awesome soundtrack.
What the hell? I know who you are, Peter Quill, and I am not some starry-eyed waif here to succumb to your pelvic sorcery.
As the MCU neared the end of its second phase, the Avengers were assembled once again in 2015's Age of Ultron.
What doesn't kill you just makes me stronger.
Although it couldn't quite outgross its predecessor, the sequel was another enormous hit, with the climactic showdown atop a floating city being a marvel in itself. Ant-Man would naturally dial things down a notch, but this ultimately provided a refreshing change of pace.
Hi, I'm Scott.
Did he just say, "Hi, I'm Scott"?
Even with smaller stakes, the titular character's shrinking abilities paved the way for plenty of whimsical moments. Phase 3 would arguably be the MCU's finest thus far, starting on a high note with Captain America: Civil War. Aside from pitting Team Cap against Team Iron Man, the film also marked this universe's debuts of Black Panther and Spider-Man, who was finally given permission from Sony to join the fight. Directors Anthony and Joe Russo outdid themselves during the jaw-dropping airport battle, which made impeccable use of every character's powers without losing sight of the film's compelling themes. That same year, Doctor Strange officially introduced magic to the MCU, amounting to the most mind-bending experience to come out of this franchise yet.
This is real, this is real, this is real, this is...
In 2017, the MCU went from releasing 2 movies per year to giving audiences 3. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 started the summer in style, while Spider-Man: Homecoming solidified that the web-slinger was in good hands.
I'm just, feel like I could be doing more.
It was Thor: Ragnarok, however, that etched its place as an instant superhero classic. In the spirit of Big Trouble in Little China, director Taika Waititi fully embraced the film's zany settings and eccentric characters, delivering one of the absolute funniest Marvel movies.
I choose to run toward my problems and not away from them.
That's what.
What's more, the film blew everyone away with its wild, stylized action, from Thor's throwdown against the Hulk to Asgard's last stand. Although Black Panther was another anticipated addition to the MCU, it managed to exceed expectations, becoming the franchise's highest-grossing domestic release and the most critically acclaimed.
Wakanda forever! Wakanda forever!
In addition to marking a significant turning point for diversity in Hollywood, the nation of Wakanda roared to life through director Ryan Coogler's lens. Audiences returned to Wakanda in Avengers: Infinity War, which was not only the biggest MCU movie yet, but also a cinematic event 10 years in the making. In a movie filled with heroes, each one had a moment to shine. But perhaps no character shined brighter than Thanos.
I hope they remember you.
A few months later, the more lighthearted Ant-Man and the Wasp provided a much-needed blend of comedy and action after the dour tone of Infinity War.
What are you laughing? Please, can you just...
Okay.
This ambitious endeavor paid off marvelously, grossing over $17 billion worldwide and consistently earning certified fresh ratings. Throughout 10 years and 20 films, Marvel has forever changed the action and superhero genres, bringing the comics to life with a diverse mix of characters, storylines, and set pieces. The MCU only gains more momentum with each passing entry, giving us high hopes for Captain Marvel, Avengers 4, and Spider-Man: Far From Home in 2019. The MCU is practically synonymous with the word Excelsior, more than doing justice to the late, great Stan Lee's unbound imagination.
Wow.
This video is brought to you by Just Cause 4. Strap into your wingsuit, equip your fully customizable grappling hook, and get ready to bring the thunder on December 4th.